Given that the energy E varies directly as the resistance R and inversely as the square of the distance, obtain an equation connecting E and R, given that E equals to 32/25 when R equals to 8 and D equals to 5. Okay? Question A, calculate the value of R when E equals to 16 and D equals to 3. Calculate the value of D when R equals to 5 and E equals to 5/6. And the third question under that, find the percentage increase in the value of R when each of E and D increases by 3%. Okay, that's the right question. So I want to pay attention as I solved. Do you understand? I want to listen very carefully as I solved. Now, let's erase this. Okay, energy E varies directly as the resistance R. E varies directly as the resistance R and inversely as the square of the distance. Square of the distance D. That is the mathematical expression of that statement. Okay. Now, we are asked to obtain an equation connecting E and R, given that E equals to 32/25. E equals to 32. Please pay attention. E equals to 32/25. Yes. And when R equals to 8 and D equals to 5. And we are also asked to calculate, well, before we calculate, let us first obtain the equation connecting E, R, and D. Okay, and to solve this question, I know you are very aware that we have to first change the proportionality sign to an equals to sign. So I'm going to introduce a constant. So I'm going to have E equals to KR all over D squared. Do you understand? Okay, now I need to get the value of K before I can do anything. So K will be equals to E D squared all over R. You understand? I just make K the subject of the relation. I've not done anything. Or you are wondering what I did? This is what I did. E equals to KR over D squared, right? KR is equals to ED squared. Are you getting it? Divide both by R, this over R and this over R. So K equals to ED squared all over R. Do you understand? Okay, back to the question. Now let us replace E as 32/25, D squared, D as 5 and R as 8. I'm going to have K equals to 32 over 25 multiplied by, this is the numerator now, D squared, multiply D squared. D squared is 5. I'm going to have 5 squared. This all over R. R is what? 8. So I'm going to have this over 8. Do you understand? Okay. K is equals to 32/25 multiplied by 25 all over 8. So K equals to 25. We cancel this 25. I'm going to have 32 all over 8. 32 divided by 8 is what? Is 4. So I'm going to have K equals to 4. Are you getting it? Now, having gotten the value of K as 4, we can now write out the relationship that exists between E, R, and D as. We are going to substitute the value of K into this formula as 4. So I'm going to have the first question there, E equals to 4R all over D squared. That is the relationship connecting E, D, and R as stated in the question that we should look for, that we should calculate. Now, having gotten the relationship, we can now proceed to calculate the value of R when E equals to 16 and D equals to 3. The value of R when E equals to 16, E equals to 16 and D equals to 3 and D equals to 3. Okay, let's go. E equals to 16. See, let me tell you, when you obtain the equation or the formula connecting the variables, this is the formula connecting the variables. E equals to 4R over D squared. all you have to do is that just replace the value of the variable that you are given to get the unknown variable that you are looking for. Okay, so e equals to 16. I'm going to have 16 equals to 4 multiplied by r. R is what we are looking for, all over 3 squared, right? So I'm going to have 16 equals to 4r all over 9, right? Are you getting it? So 16, we from that place we can take the cross product. You understand? 16 multiplied by 9, that is 144. So I'm going to have 4r is equals to 144. To get the value of r, I have to divide both by 4. So r equals to 144 divided by 4. That will give us 36. So the value of r is 36. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to the first question under that question. Now we are asked to calculate the value of d. That's the second question now. Calculate the value of d when r equals to 5 and e equals to 5 over 6. Determine the value of d. Okay, let me erase this. Let me erase this. Okay. Determine the value of d. Let me change this matter. Determine the value of d when r equals to 5 and e equals to 5 over 6. Okay, now listen, this is the equation connecting them. E equals to 4r, e equals to 4r over d squared. We have replace e as 5 over 6. I'm going to have 5 over 6 equals to 4 multiplied by r. R is 5 now, all over d squared, right? We have 5 over 6 is equals to 20 over d squared. Is that not it? Now take the cross product. I'm going to have 5d squared equals to 6 times 20, right? 6 times 20, that is what? 120. So to get the value of d, divide both sides by 5. I'm going to have this over 5 and this over 5, right? So d squared equals to, now 120 divided by 5, that is 24. So to get the value of d, the square root of both sides, I'm going to have d equals to square root of 6 times 4, right? So d equals to 2 root 6. Okay, now because square root of 4 is 2 and square root of 6 will give us decimal, so I just leave it like this. Okay, you can put it in decimal. Do you understand? Okay, we have gotten the value of d. That's the second question. The second question, question B under that. Okay, now let us proceed to question C. Find the percentage increase in the value of r when each of e and d increases by 3%. Okay, now you can solve this question in two ways. Listen to me carefully. You can solve this question in two ways. I'm going to show you the first way, okay, and I'm going to explain to you the second way. So just pay attention. Now, find the percentage increase in the value of r when each of e and d increases by 3%. Now, listen. The equation connecting e, r, and d is what? E equals to 4r all over d squared. Let us call this equation as initial value of e, d, and r. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Listen to me carefully. You know, when we talk about percentage increase, we are talking about something increasing from one value to another value. Expressing that increment in percentage is what we call percentage increase. Do you understand? Listen to the explanation again. Let's say that we increase one increases to maybe a variable x increases from x to maybe 2x. We are now asked to calculate the percentage increase. That will be what? Expressing that the increment is what? 2x minus x. That is what? X, right? Now, if you are asked to express x as a percentage, that value is what we call percentage increase. Do you understand? So now let's assume that this is the initial value of e, d, and r. You understand? Now we are told that e and d increases by what? 3%, right? So 3% increase. 3% means 3 over 100. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have, if e increases, E2 will be 3% of E plus E. Are you getting what I'm saying? 3% of the initial value plus the initial value. That is it. Okay. So I'm going to have 0.03e plus e. Okay, now 0.03e plus e will give us what? That will give us 1.03e. Okay, now d also increases by 3%, so let's call it d2. Okay, I just call it d2, it doesn't matter. Okay, so d2 equals to 3% of d plus d itself. So I'm going to have 0.03d plus d. That will give us what? 1.03d. Okay, now this is the increment. When e increases from the initial value by 3%, it gives us this and this. Now next step is to make r the sub. Don't forget that it is the increment of r that we are looking for, and percentage increase. This thing, percentage increase is equals to new value of the variable minus the old value of the variable all over the old value of the variable multiplied by 100%. That is the percentage increase, and we have already said that this is the initial value, the old value. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The old value of the initial variable is e, d, and r. Now, when we increase e and d by 3%, we have 1.03e and 1.03d. Now, we want to look for the new value of r, you understand, so that we can calculate the percentage increase of r. Okay, so now let's proceed. Make r the subject of the formula here. I'm going to have e equals to 4r all over d squared, right? So for this, I'm going to have 4r is equals to e d squared, because we are going to take the cross product. Okay, so r equals to e d squared all over 4. Is that not it? Okay, so that is the value of r. Now let us call this one r1. Okay, let's call this one r1. Okay, let us call this one e1 also. r1 d1. Let's call this one also e1 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 d1 d1 d1. Okay, do you understand? I just call it, I just want to understand better. That's why I just give them that names. Okay, now r1 equals to e1 d1 all over 4, right? Now let us replace the value of e, the increment. Now r2, the new value of r will be e2, you understand, which is what? 1.03. e2 is what? 1.03, right? I'm going to have 1.03 e1, 1.03 e1. Are you getting it? Multiplied by d2, you understand? d2 is what? 1.03 d2, 1.03 d2. Now don't forget that there is square on d all over what? All over 4, right? Okay, so r2 is equals to 1.03. Now this thing, if you take the square, 1.03 squared, what's the answer? 1.03 squared is 1.0609. So I'm going to have 1.03 e1 multiplied by 1.0609 d2. Oh, d1 is d1 d1 squared. Okay, are you getting it? All over 4. Do you understand? Okay, so r2 equals to 1.03 multiplied by 1.0609 e1 multiplied by d1 squared all over 4, right? Are you getting it? So now listen to me. I can rewrite this thing. 1.03 times 1.069. 1.0. That is 1.0927. Okay, 1.0927 e1 d1 squared all over 4. Right? I can rewrite this. Listen to me carefully. I can rewrite r2 as this. r2, please listen. I can write this thing. I can rewrite r2 as this. 1.0927 multiplied by e1 d1 squared all over 4. Is that not it? Yes. I just put this, and this is this, and this is this. If I multiply this by this, I'm still going to have this, and this 4 will also become the denominator. Do you understand? Okay, now don't forget that this entity that you see here is what? R1. Okay, Because arg1 is what? E1 d1 squared all over what? All over 4. So arg2 automatically is 1.0927 arg1. Okay, so now back to the question. You must learn how to interpret. Are you getting it? You must learn how to interpret. So let's go back to the question now. This is the value of arg2. Arg2 equals to 1.0927 arg1. Okay, now we cannot calculate the percentage increase in the value of arg. Let us erase this. Okay, let's erase this. Now we can calculate the percentage increase in the value of arg, because we have the old value and the new value now. We have the initial value of arg and the new value of arg. The new value of arg is arg2 and the initial value of arg is arg1. Arg1 is simply means arg, you understand? So let's go. The percentage increase in the value of arg will be equals to, I'm coming. Is it feeling much from here? Percentage increase in the value of arg is equals to arg2 minus arg1 all over arg1 multiplied by 100. Okay, arg2 is what? 1.0927 arg1 minus arg1 all over arg1 multiplied by 100. Okay, you see, let me tell you, arg1 is also the same thing as 1 arg1. You understand? X is also the same thing as 1x, right? Yes. arg1 is also the same thing as 1 arg1. So I'm going to have this minus this. I'm going to have 0.927. Okay, 0.00927 arg1 all over arg1. This minus this is this, and the denominator is this. Multiply by 100. This arg1 will cancel this arg1. I'm going to have, now this times this, I'm going to have 0.0927 times 100, right? So this will be what? 9.27%. Okay, so the percentage increase, listen, the percentage increase in the value of arg as D and E increases by as D and E increases by 3% is 9.27%. Okay, that is the solution to that question. If you get this answer right, you are correct. Okay, and if you have any question regarding what we've learned in this class, let me know in the comment section. Okay, see you in the next class. To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section. Okay, see you in the next class.